guys, welcome back to my channel, CokiCreative. My name is Elena, and today we are doing a speed build. This is one that I've done a few weeks ago when the Tiny Living game pack came out. So it was more than just a few weeks ago. It was actually probably more like a month and a half ago. But anyway, I'm still catching up with some of my builds. I have a few really big projects coming up right now, which I'm really excited about. One is happening next week, and it's a big one, so that will take me a little while to finish and edit and upload. But till now, or for now, I have a lot of like littler builds that I can upload. My goal is to try to do like 2 times a week now, but we'll see how that kind of works out. Anyway, so this one I want to do slightly more modern than some of my last few builds, which were a little bit more rustic. I kind of was like getting a little bit of inspiration from the stuff that came with the Tiny Living pack, coconut. And so that's why I kind of chose the colors that I did. I thought they were very like mid-century modern colors, even though this isn't a mid-century modern build per se. It still kind of gives it a little bit of like that orange purple, like just kind of more bold colors, if that makes sense. So I played around with that a lot. I wanted to make sure this was also a starter home, which was really difficult, funny enough to say, because it's only 30 tiles. So I thought I could add some like nicer things in there. I did end up putting the new Murphy bed, and that was a little bit more expensive. That ate up some of my budget, but I ended up having to kind of switch some things around and play around with a few things. Like I had to change the stove and the fridge at the end of the build just so I can make this under 20,000. But that being said, it is 19,456 simoleons. So if you do place it on a 20 by 15 lot, it is over budget by just a little bit. So if you were to move in your new sim family to this lot, 20 by 15, and maybe sell like 2 rocks, you could afford it. It's like, it's over 20,000 when you place it down by like a couple hundred simoleons. So I still call it a tiny or a starter home, even though technically it isn't. So what can you do? I tried. I really wanted to make it look nice. Now, because it is a micro home, the second story, as long as you take out the floor, it doesn't count as square footage. So you can even have like a 7-story high. I don't know if you can even have 7 stories, but if you could still have 7 stories high as long as you delete all of the flooring in between and just have like the bottom count. So just a little fun fact about micro homes. Here, it didn't take me long to decorate this, to be honest. I mean, it's not much square footage to work with, so it just was putting a few things down. I really still wanted to try to clutter it as much as I could, so with the budget that I had and the space that I had, it really wasn't that much stuff. As you can see, I'm doing the living room right now, and I just kind of place a few like of the things that I always place down, like a backpack, and I always like using that coat rack for some reason. I just feel like it's more realistic, even though, I mean, technically I do have a coat rack back by the door, but I just feel like it's a thing that every house should have. Here I'm using the new, I really like this object, the TV bookcase / music box. That's not the word I'm looking for, radio. I like how it kind of has all 3 things in one, so it doesn't take up as much space. So we didn't get bunk beds, but at least we got that. And here I'm doing the kitchen. I didn't have a huge budget to work with again, so I just kind of played around with like minimal clutter. If I would, I normally like to fill in the kitchen, but it's also a teeny tiny kitchen, so I didn't want to overwhelm it either. So I played around with it a little bit, had some fun, all that good stuff. And I just wanted to add some color here and there, but I didn't want it to be like some of my other builds where I just kind of go crazy. I wanted this one to be like slightly more toned down than that. But here I move on to the outside. I wanted to have a ton of outdoor living area, living space. So instead of putting a deck, because decks do count as living space, so it would make the house bigger. So I did the smallest half wall that you could. Then I used terrain paint to cover the inside of that, so save money that way. And I did that in the front yard and the backyard. So I was able to gain a lot of living space without actually taking away from the square footage of the home. So I was really excited about that even though it is a micro home, it actually feels pretty spacious and roomy, I gotta say. I have actually played with this house with a sim family of mine, and it's a very playable house. It's very fun, and you don't feel like it's hard to play with, if that makes any sense. Like, oh shoot, can't use the bathroom if someone's in the kitchen kind of deal. They're able to work around that. Here I am using a lot of debug stuff to plant around the yard because debug costs $0, and I was working on a very limited budget. I still wanted this place to have like an amazing outdoor area. I wanted to feel very engrossed with trees and really cozy. And you can see next door is a micro home I did in a previous video and build, so they're neighbors. But this one, I wanted to have a little bit more of like a clean feel, not so much like super rustic and super just overgrown. I wanted this to feel like someone maybe like purposely put that bush there kind of thing. Because I do like having my like lots look overgrown, but this one, it just didn't feel right for the style. So yeah. And here I'm adding a little outdoor seating area. When my Sims, let's say, have a kid, they like to go sit outside and eat, and they do their homework out on this table. So it's actually been very useful since there is not room for a table indoors. I changed it to the new bar top that came with the Tiny Living Pack because I thought that looked really cute, and I like how it's higher up. It just kind of looks nice over the bushes, so it doesn't look as hidden. But it still doesn't have that umbrella, so it doesn't take up a lot of those nice windows and the lighting that comes inside. Anyway, so in the backyard, I put a grill, as you can see, but I did end up having to take that grill out to make sure it was a starter home and under 20,000. But I do keep the easel because that's a great way to make money. It's a great way to become famous. And I don't know, it's a cheap product that really pays for itself. So I always put an easel in all my houses. I think they're useful. And here I'm doing just a few minor adjustments. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. And if you like this video, you can give me a big thumbs up. Maybe let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye.